Hi there, I'm Tantzen, Product Manager here at PreSonus. In this video, we'll take a look at the StudioLive Series III digital mixers and ecosystem. This is a very powerful system built around the industry-leading Flex DSP technology that delivers the most powerful, flexible, and scalable digital mixing available. First, we'll go over the mixers themselves and what makes them so powerful and flexible. Then, we'll go through the networked ecosystem, including stage boxes, personal monitor mixers, and Dante compatibility with the AVB D16 Dante bridge. Finally, we'll touch on some of the recording and streaming aspects of the StudioLive Series III, including 64x64 USB interface and unmatched DAW integration. There's nothing like StudioLive digital mixers for working live or in the studio on a broadcast or streaming mix. With all that covered, we can take a look at some of the ways you might use the system and how it can scale to grow with you and continue filling your needs. All right, let's get started. The StudioLive Series III ecosystem is centered around the mixers. We currently offer 7 models with a 16-channel rack mixer, 5 flavors of 32-channel mixers with 2 racks and 3 consoles, and our flagship StudioLive 64S 64-channel 32-bus mixer. Each model features different combinations of mic and line inputs and mix outputs. The rack mixers are incredibly portable, 2 and 1U high, and the consoles come in 3 footprints, including the rack-mountable 17 fader, mid-sized 25 fader, and full-size 32 fader versions. The 5 32-channel variants all feature the same DSP under the hood, with a total of 40 mixing channels, 16 flex mix buses, and 4 dedicated effects buses. The 64S features twice the DSP, with a total of 72 mixing channels, 32 flex mixes, 8 internal effects buses with dedicated processors, and main, left, right, and mono, or LCR mixing, making the 64S the most powerful mixer you'll find. A unique feature of the StudioLive Series III rack mixers is the ability to fill different roles with easy-to-use stage box modes. Need the remote I/O for your console, but don't need the mixing on the rack mixer? Set it to stage box mode and use the rack mixer just as you would a remote stage box. Are you using dedicated front of house and monitor mixers and need to share inputs? Set your mixer up to monitor mixer mode to set up shared inputs and main mix routing automatically. There's so much flexibility in the StudioLive Series III ecosystem. The StudioLive Series III mix engine can be configured in many different ways to suit the different applications and mix techniques, thanks to the powerful Flex DSP engine. There's no need to waste any of the DSP on things you don't need. This is best represented in the flex mixes. While the main mix and effects mixes are all fixed, dedicated mix buses, the flex mixes can be configured as any combination of aux mix, subgroup, or matrix mix. Gone are the days of being limited to predefined aux, subgroup, and matrix mix counts. Now, you can use the mix buses exactly as you need them. Another great example of the StudioLive Flex DSP is the unique state space modeled fat channel plugins. There are multiple compressor and EQ models available on every single channel and mix bus. These incredible effects are state space models of real analog outboard gear that accurately recreate the same studio quality tone right inside the mixer. With over 15 models available on every channel simultaneously, you can dial in your mix with color and precision unavailable anywhere else. While the StudioLive Series III mixers work great and are fully featured standalone, there's a full ecosystem of network devices to help you grow into a future of amazing possibilities. The StudioLive audio network is built on an IEEE AVB standards, which means it has precision clocking, guaranteed deterministic delivery of your audio, and low latency. This eliminates the limitations found in proprietary audio networks, delivering on that promise of flexibility to fit your needs. The most popular device are remote stage boxes. Ditch the analog multi-channel snake and all the cost, weight, and problems that come with it. Our stage box options all feature robust physical design with several options for stage placement, rack mounting, or installing into a stage pocket, all connected to the mixer with a single Ethernet cable. The stage boxes also include dual AVB Ethernet ports, so you can daisy chain multiple units. But one of the more exciting features of the NSB stage boxes is the gain compensation. This feature, typically only found in ultra high-end mixers, allows you to maintain independent gain control on all the mixers connected to the same stage box. In essence, this delivers the same experience as analog mixers with an isolated split snake, but in the digital world. Instead of all mixers having to share the same gain level, like most other digital stage boxes, with the NSB, each mixer, front of house, monitors, and broadcast, for example, can maintain their own independent gain. That means if front of house engineers turn down the lead vocal gain, it won't change the gain on any of the other mixers. Another popular way to expand your StudioLive Series 3 system while also bringing more individual control to the performers on stage is with our EarMix 16M personal monitor mixer. Each EarMix you add to the network is another dedicated 16-channel mixer for creating an independent mix for monitoring. Using a single Ethernet cable, route inputs and mixes from the StudioLive mixer to the 16 channels on the EarMix 16M for the artist on stage to have complete control over their own mix. What's more, each EarMix 16M can receive different channels, allowing for combinations that can be customized based on the performer. For example, the drummer can have kick and snare broken out and the vocals on a submix, while the vocals have the drums on a submix and the vocals broken out. No other monitor mixing system provides that level of flexibility. The EarMix 16M isn't limited to only working within the StudioLive Series 3 ecosystem. In fact, thanks to the AVB D16 AVB to Dante network bridge, you can interface the entire StudioLive Series 3 ecosystem with any Dante-compatible device or network. Add one or more of these boxes to your system to send and receive audio between the StudioLive AVB network and any Dante-compatible devices. Unlike a simple mixer option card, which is limited to just interfacing with the mixer, this network bridge can connect audio to or from the mixers, ear mixes, or NSB stage boxes. Again, proving just how powerful and flexible this system is. StudioLive mixers wouldn't be true to their name if all we focused on was live sound. That's why we've put a lot of effort into the studio side of the Series 3 mixers. It starts with a full 64 by 64 USB audio interface built in. No other mixer can record so many channels directly via USB. But that's not all. There's also built-in SD card recording, and every mixer includes our professional Studio One DAW software and Capture live recording software. By default, the 64 by 64 USB interface works as it does on most other digital mixers, but you'll also have flexible per-channel digital patching and our exclusive interface mode. When set up with interface mode turned on, the mixer sets up custom USB and DSP routing that makes it work more like a traditional audio interface, perfect for studio workflows. We've also put extra care into our WDM driver for Windows users. Our expanded driver provides more channels than other digital mixers and flexible patching. So when you're using apps like your web browser or video conferencing or live streaming applications, you have more control over your audio. Beyond the groundbreaking work we've put into the USB interface on the StudioLive Series 3, we've also integrated DAW control features in the consoles that many dedicated control surfaces can't even rival. Using the DAW button on the top of the console, you can flip between DAW control mode and mixer control mode on the fly and with no interruption to your audio. When in DAW mode, the StudioLive mixers control your DAW software, while the internal mix DSP keeps doing its thing. When you switch back to mixer control mode, you pick up controlling your mixer DSP right where you left off. The StudioLive Series 3 consoles have a custom integration with Studio One, and they also support HUI and MCU control modes for working with third-party DAWs, such as Pro Tools and Logic. You can now control your mix, access transport controls with dedicated buttons, interact with plugins, and more with a full-featured control surface that is also a USB interface and a mixer. Wow! And that's just scratching the surface. So with all of that power and flexibility, what are some of the different ways you might use the StudioLive Series 3 ecosystem? Let's take a look at some examples that can also show you how the StudioLive ecosystem can grow and scale based on your needs. The simplest cases, just use a single mixer. This could be a rack or a console, and could be for portable or installed sound reinforcement, or in the studio as a mixer and interface for recording and streaming. With a single mixer, you'll have everything that model of mixer includes in terms of preamps and outputs and physical control, as well as all of the included plugins and software for recording. And if you're using your mixer for live sound, you're also going to need PA speakers. If your PA speakers happen to be Dante compatible, like the PreSonus CDLs, you can add the AVB D16 Dante bridge to network the audio from your mixer to the speakers with inexpensive Ethernet cables. If you started off with a console mixer, a common add-on is our NSB stage boxes, especially if you have one of the compact mixer models. When a stage box is added to these models that don't include the full 32 channels worth of inputs, you're essentially adding inputs to your mixer. For sound reinforcement systems, using NSB stage boxes also eliminates the heavy, expensive copper analog snakes, while also adding more functionality and reducing noise and interference that can be introduced into long analog snakes. But these stage boxes aren't just for live sound use. They're also great for running inputs from another room when recording or broadcasting. Running a temporary Ethernet cable under doors is much easier than a thick analog snake, and you'll enjoy the higher quality sound you'll get using digital audio runs via Ethernet. In the same vein as adding stage boxes to a console mixer, it's also popular to add a console mixer if you already own a rack mixer. Because the rack mixers are so versatile with the different stage box modes, adding a console mixer to your arsenal gives you a lot of flexibility. With a rack mixer and a console mixer, you can use each independently as standalone systems, run the rack mixer as a remote stage box for the console mixer, or use the rack mixer as remote I/O and a monitor mixer along with the console mixer. One benefit for using the rack mixer as your remote I/O and monitor mixer is you can also use the USB connection on the back of the rack mixer for playing back tracks and click from a computer on stage. That USB audio will also be sent to the console mixer over the AVB network, just like the analog inputs. Expanding your system may also include adding personal monitor mixes for the artists on stage. The EarMix 16M puts 16 channels of personal monitor mixing at your fingertips and can be powered over PoE or Power over Ethernet directly from the SW5E AVB switch or other third-party compatible switches that provide PoE. With the StudioLive Series 3 AVB network, simply add as many EarMix 16Ms to the network as you need, then you're ready to start routing your audio. Or start with just a couple and add more as you can or need. If you don't have a StudioLive Series 3 ecosystem, well, why not? What's wrong with you? Just kidding. The EarMix 16M is also a great solution for any mixing environment. Combining ear mixes with the AVB D16 allows you to add a personal monitoring solution to any Dante-compatible system. One of the biggest advancements you can make to a mixing system is adding mixers. It can also be one of the most complex additions to your audio system. Additional mixers are often used to add a monitor mixer or broadcast mixer. With dedicated mixers in these roles, you can have custom fat channel effects processing, subgroups, and mixing options. But adding mixers usually means introducing complex matrix routers or inexpensive split snakes. Even with many digital mixers that have their own remote Ethernet connections, there are limitations to the number of mixers or how you can route the audio. But that's another reason why the StudioLive Series III AVB ecosystem shines above anything else and makes this type of scalable system and growth easy to implement. With our AVB network, there's no limits to the number of mixers you can connect or the ways you can route the audio. With 3 mixers on the network, I can send audio to all 3 mixers from a shared stage box, from each of the mixers themselves, from any Dante-compatible device using the AVB D16, or from an AVB-compatible computer. And just like your network at home, where you have several devices communicating with each other simultaneously, with the StudioLive AVB network, your audio is available to every device on the network at the same time. When you start exploring the possibilities and different ways you can use the various parts of the StudioLive Series III ecosystem, you start to see a huge world of possibilities. From a single mixer all the way to a multi-room, multi-building facility, StudioLive Series III is your perfect mixing solution for the stage, studio, house of worship, school, or broadcaster streaming. All right, so we covered the different console and rack mixer models and their Flex DSP. We also went through the stage boxes, EarMix, and AVB D16 Dante bridge. And finally, we looked at some examples of how the system can scale to fit your differing and growing needs. That's the StudioLive Series III ecosystem. For now. Our incredible engineering team is continuing to add new updates and features to the mixers. And with open AVB standard networking, more and more companies are introducing AVB-compatible products. In the future, you can expect to see many more networked audio devices that will work with the StudioLive Series III ecosystem from PreSonus and third-party manufacturers. There's also so much more these mixers can do and so many more options for ways to use this ecosystem than what I touched on here. I encourage you to visit our website or your local dealer to learn more about the StudioLive Series III ecosystem. Also, be sure to follow us on social media. Thanks for tuning in. Now go get your hands on one of these amazing mixing systems.